We're not going to take our paychecks till we figure this out. That would be a noble step in the right direction, I would say.
That's not everybody can afford to do. You got some young people there with kids there.
Either can the people that aren't getting paid, though.
I think
and
that's
there's
a fair
holdout.
point. I think that's a fair point.
We have a lot to cover on the moves being made around the earth from this administration. The PSYOP runs deep, and the key players are on high alert. We're going to get into what is happening in the UK also today, dig a little deeper on the problems that are happening over there and how they're slowly making their way into the United States, and how it's some states are actually making some moves on that. So much prayer needed as we continue at Periscope depth. So let's go. Wanted to make sure you guys remember that we have 499,000 followers on Rumble. We'd love to get to 500,000. So if you could hit that follow button and we'd really appreciate that. It helps us grow. And also just a quick reminder that we have the At Sea with LT Freedom Voyage 2026 coming up March 15th through the 22nd. Some of the rooms, interior state rooms, ocean, veranda. We've got the veranda spa stateroom, signature suite, and Neptune suites are now limited and waitlisted on the other one, the Pinnacle suite. So just wanted to make sure you guys are aware of that. Love to have you. Love to head to Florida to Puerto Rico with you and have a meet and greet time. We're going to have a great time together with music and comedy and so much more. It's going to be great.
2 years from now. So we put every single thing that we wanted in that bill for 4 years. So we don't need any more votes. All we want to do is have a vote of continuation. And it's the first time in history that a group has not voted for continuation. So they have what's called a Trump derangement problem. Have you heard about that problem? Because that's the only reason this could be possible. But I think we're doing very well. I think they're going to have no choice but to go along because the country is setting records in every way and people want it to continue that way. So we're hoping the Democrats become much less deranged and that we will get the vote pretty soon. And I hear they're starting to feel that way too. They're starting to feel like they really have to do what's right for the country, and they will.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, as you're standing there and you're part of a Louisiana, team, you're like, hey, I'm standing back here watching President Trump throw some of those one-liners out at everyone. Trump derangement syndrome, and the smiles continue. And so that syndrome's playing out and hurting the Democrats. And of course, we got one of our favorites from Communist News Network to keep us entertained.
About Donald Trump shutdowns, net approval rating, we're talking 20 days into it. In 2018/2019, Donald Trump's net approval rating was already falling. The shutdown was eating into his popular support. It was down 3 points already at this particular point and would fall considerably more. It was very much on the decline. You come over to this side of the screen, this shutdown hasn't eaten into Donald Trump's support at all. His net approval rating is actually up a point in terms of his popular support. So the bottom line is this. The first shutdown during Trump's first term, 2018-2019, was hurting Donald Trump. This one is not hurting him at all. There's no real reason Donald Trump might say, at least when it comes to popular support, I want to get out of this shutdown.
What about the question of blame?
Yeah, okay. What about the question of blame? Okay, you see Donald Trump's net approval rating was down 2018 to 2019. You talk about net approval rating is up. It comes down to the blame game, a game I loved to play when I was younger. Blame Trump for the shutdown, a great deal. In 2018/2019, 61%, more than 3 in 5 Americans blame Trump, a great deal for that particular shutdown. You come over to this side of the screen, look at this. It's a different world. It's a different world. 48% of Americans blame Trump a great deal for this particular shutdown. So it's more than 3 in 5 back in 2018/2019. It's less than half, a drop of 13 points. Again, it's no real wonder that Donald Trump at this point, looking at the shutdown, says, you know what? It's not actually harming me politically, in large part because he's getting less of the blame.
And he's doing things differently during this shutdown.
Yes, exactly right. We talk about Donald Trump and you say, okay, He wants to be a consequential, influential president. Well, if the legislative process is basically freezed up, on Capitol Hill, you may say, well, then he can't actually get legislation through. But that's not how Trump is governing in this term. We've spoken about this over and over and over again. He's using his pen.
He's using his pen. 210 executive orders. Oh, man, these guys must be full of it. I look at these polls sometimes and I go, we got to add a few here and there. Blame Trump for the shutdown, 48%. Let's just knock off about 20 on there, put it 28%, just so we can go around the fake news and get our own put together. That's what I would think. And they're using stealth technology, mind control to make sure people understand what's going on. Listen to this.
We've spoken much about it publicly. It was a deal that was done under Joe Biden to sell submarines to Australia at a time when you're not really making enough for your own needs. So can you tell us, have you gotten across the details of the deal? Do you support it, and will you honor it?
It was made a while ago, and nobody did anything about it, and it was going too slowly. We do actually have a lot of submarines. We have the best submarines in the world, anywhere in the world, and we're building a few more currently under construction. And now we're starting, we have it all set. With Anthony, we've worked on this long and hard, and we're starting that process right now. And I think it's really moving along very rapidly, very well.
He's brought up submarines quite a bit in the last several weeks. Joe Rambo caught attention to that. Want to make sure we catch these submarine comms. Yeah, very, very interesting because October 20th, 2020, we were shown what? We were shown The Crimson Tide, right? The film focusing on a clash of wills between the seasoned commanding officer of a U.S. nuclear missile submarine, Gene Hackman, and his new executive officer, Denzel Washington, arising from conflicting interpretations of an order to launch their missiles. The story inadvertently parallels a real incident during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Interesting. We got stuff like that happening now. And it's strange. So the Delta from yesterday, 4903, had this link from that clip, right? So all of this playing out. Red October, Crimson Tide, ready to launch. It's about bringing that sub to the highest state of readiness to launch its missiles. And you can see October 19, 2025, Ohio-class nuclear-powered missile submarine leaving Bremerton, Washington. Very strange things playing out before our very eyes. And for those that don't want their kids to see airplanes dropping manure out of the air, you can turn their eyes off. But President Trump put a meme out, and it drove the Communist News Network folks pretty crazy. They just couldn't handle it. But they actually played the meme for the world to see. And it makes you wonder sometimes when you say, who's controlling the media? Who's controlling CNN? Are we watching a movie? Well, sometimes you wonder when they play clips like this.
Which showed him with a crown, flying in a plane, bombing the No Kings protesters with piles of waste. It's a family program. I'll use that word.
It's a family program.
House Speaker Mike Johnson says that it's just Trump using social media and satire. Satire is the word that he used to make a point. How do you see it?
Well, that video is deeply unserious, deeply unpresidential, and deeply un-American. But unfortunately, it's the type of erratic, extreme behavior that the American people have continued to see from this president and from this administration from the very beginning. And of course, it's no surprise to us that House Republicans continue to behave as nothing more than reckless rubber stamps for Donald Trump's extreme agenda that's hurting the American people, and of course, for his extreme behavior that they continue to whitewash.
Speaker Johnson.
They played it on a loop, folks. I mean, they had it play it over and over and over again. They're like, hey, play it again. Play it again. Oh, the Jeffries. It looks like, Jeffries, I don't know why. But when I look at the way he's staring at the camera right now, it makes me wonder, like, is he one of those guys that goes down in the basement and then when the sun comes out, he has to hide? And then when it's dark at night, he comes back out. You know what I'm talking about? Kind of looks like that. But he says, President Trump there, it's just the way he acts is just not correct. It's not the way you're supposed to be acting. But of course, they're not going to show you footage from the protests, right? The No Kings protests of a guy who's supposed to behave as a professor should, right? Well, this guy is a staff member, not a professor, excuse me, a staff member at Wilbur Wright College. And it looks like Chicago City Colleges. Listen to what he says.
You gotta grab a gun. We gotta turn around the guns on this fascist system. These ICE agents gotta get shot and wiped out. The state machinery, that's a full display right there, has to get wiped out. You gotta grab a...
We have to grab guns. That's what he says. And he's calling for what? Taking out the ICE agents. And he happens to work in a university. I wonder if they're going to keep him. Very interesting, huh? Well, then you head over to some more talk of the AI video posted by President Trump. They want to have more opinions on this because they just can't get enough of it.
Do you think it's making a point, Scott?
Well, yeah, he was making a
And
point.
what's the
I mean,
point?
why shouldn't the president? Why shouldn't the president use a made-up video to respond to a rally that has a made-up reason? I mean, it's a non-existent reason. We don't have a monarchy in this country. We have a presidency won by Donald Trump, who won the popular vote, who won the Electoral College, who won all the swing states. We have a democracy. People voted, and they elected the president, and the only thing they're mad about is that he is lawfully executing the office of the presidency and enforcing laws that have been on the books for a long time. So he made up a video. They made up a reason to have a rally. And I think it was kind of funny, to be honest with you.
It was kind of funny, to be honest with you. Oh, my goodness. They just let him talk. You know, we share all the time our things that we're dealing with, physical aches and more. The pain that we see just in our mind of watching our country with the insurrection playing out. Yet some of us are feeling really good physically because we went to ltpetclub247.com and got ourselves some mushroom support, the immune support, pets support, natural goodness, and more. Carrie got Inforce Clarity, and she said she's 62, has arthritis in the hands and knees, and a celiac disease. Took Inforce Clarity and Inforce every day. She said she's halfway through both and has no more swelling nor pain in the hands or knees, and she says she's jumping for joy. It's amazing. Janet got the Mojos. All 4 of our dogs love their Mojo treats. They behave and patiently await their treat. I also top a few pieces into their food bowls. An excellent treat indeed. I really like how my hand doesn't get all greasy from handing them their treat. Karen, the cookies for the dogs, so rich and tasty, sweet, salty, and rich with immune-boosting mushrooms that I don't even bake my own anymore. And so ltpetclub247.com. It's an amazing website. You get all types of products there to choose from. We hope that you guys check them out. Your life will change dramatically. We've had several interviews with them. Many of you have jumped on board. ltpetclub247.com. Check them out in the description box below. You definitely will thank me for it later. Absolutely amazing. We love them over there. So we head on over to The View, the witches over there. I'm not going to play this clip from Whoopi Goldberg, but she basically said nobody got paid to protest at the No Kings rallies. The financial disclosures were actually released from the No Kings protests, and Arabella gave $79 million, Warren Buffett $16 million, Ford $51 million, Rockefeller $26 million, Soros $72 million, Tides $45 million. So they got a grand total of $294+ million. More than $250 million for the masters or former masters. Whoever's trying to run this whole scene playing out before our very eyes. Thought this was very good. Nate Friedman actually went out there. And folks, somebody got I'm just wanted to cover the No Kings because some very interesting facts played out before our very eyes. I want you to catch this because these paid actors are actually full-time paid people to do nothing but cause problems for President Trump or anybody on the right for that matter. After we go through this, I'm going to show you some other things playing out with the some good news actually for President Trump.
Guys, I think this is maybe one of the more popular. Yeah, no,
What's that?
No, we're good. No, but I don't know.
Oh no, I'm just press asking questions.
This is Nate Friedman doing his job.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, no. He's not asking. But no, it's I think this is the guy. I don't know.
Okay, so they had a full panic and just talked over each other. Now, this woman did the scripted right-wing troll line, which I guess they must have forgotten to pick up their signs because that's exactly what they did to me last time. And before that, a different paid protester with the exact same sign followed me around the Take Down Tesla protest. So who are these people really? Keep watching.
I'm here to marshal and keep people safe. That's my job here today, and I'm just going to do my job.
What do you mean by marshal?
We help traffic. We help people with the traffic. We help cars redirect. We help bike messengers.
Okay.
We're helping people be safe on the streets.
Does that mean you guys are working with the NYPD?
Yes, we talk to them.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. That's interesting. But is there a briefing before that you guys work with the
NYPD?
Yeah.
No.
So how do they know that you're out there marshaling with them?
They're not blind.
And neither am I. This is you calling ICE thugs, and with a $50,000 bounty on ICE agents, you have blood on your hands. This is you taking it a step further and calling them the Gestapo. Back again at a different protest, and again and again. The company she works for is Rise and Resist. They are one of the nonprofits receiving a portion of the $7.6 million from George Soros and were responsible for the takedown Tesla protests that often resulted in vandalism. They claim that all of their events are non-violent, which is odd because there's hundreds of pictures of their protesters getting arrested. One of the things they love to do is organize sit-ins at Trump Tower, and they're politely escorted out of the building and released from custody almost instantly, which means that the supposed king is quite forgiving with people trespassing his family's home. The donation link to Rise and Resist goes straight through Act Blue. Now it's really her associates that are the star players on the protesting field. Watch this. You see her? She works with Karen Shaw, the kazoo lady from the previous No Kings rally. This is her making the signs for Rise and Resist in their little print shop. Yes, I'm looking into this print shop. She protests whatever is on the schedule. Back again in front of the courthouse asking to abolish ICE, which is to take the sides of the vicious, violent criminals that have been deported by ICE. She wants to, quote, free them all, and she's doing this sit-in again inside of Trump's family home. The president is very aware of paid protesting now. Now I saved the best for last with this group because look at this guy here. Meet Casimir Yanish. He is a professional protester. Here he is with the infamous Karen Kazoo lady. You know how they frequently work in teams. Now, what is concerning about this guy in particular is not just that he is a professional protester, but that he is an election worker. His official start date was January 2020. According to his LinkedIn, he is a director of architecture and engineering at New York City. And according to governorsalaries.com, he's receiving an annual wage of $121,000. The question is he protesting on the taxpayer's dime? Casimir took part in the famous paid protester group photo that I've exposed. See the Karen Kazoo lady here? And of course Stuart Waldman, who was on the board of Rise and Resist. Casimir had no social media that I could find, but here he is on his friend's Instagram, and he's clearly labeled in the caption. According to Casimir's LinkedIn, he is also a Columbia University alum, and here he is at an alumni event. Casimir has donated to a fund that was established to provide legal assistance and financial support to those who get arrested at protests. So he's spending his money wisely, and as a graduate of Columbia, I'm sure he's proud of what his alma mater is up to these days. Next up, I ran into a woman with a guillotine poster at the peaceful protest.
Yeah, good job, Nate Friedman. Connecting all the dots. And then we wonder where all this money's been going to. Oh, they have to pay these folks to continue to do their bidding. President Trump said the FBI under my administration is doing an incredible job. Since January 20th, more than 28,000 violent criminals have been arrested, record-breaking, with over 6,000 illegal weapons seized. More than 1,700 child predators and 300 human traffickers taken off the streets. 5,000 innocent children rescued. 2,000 criminal enterprises disrupted. 1,900 kilos of fentanyl, enough to kill 125 million people, taken out. Historic results. We are bringing law and order back to America. Cash, Dan, Andrew, and the men and women of the FBI are doing a tremendous job making America safe again. Ultra MAGA Dean Erickson caught on to this. President Trump's truth-telling, of course, has that timestamp of 6:47 p.m., 6:47 on the board, says, and Anon says, I have posted this so many times. Tomorrow is Freedom Day. Q posted a flag named Freedom, and timing is everything. Tomorrow. Of course, they get a reply, day of days, D of D. Maybe President Trump's letting us know that the FBI is going to have historic results and bring law and order back to America, making America safe again. And he's letting us know tomorrow or today is the day of days, the day all Americans get our freedom back. We have been told that indictments and arrests are imminent. And now President Trump is highlighting the FBI and how they are bringing law and order back to America. And it's historic. I mean, think about that, folks. Where were we last year with the FBI, the year before that with the FBI? So we may possibly see more indictments and arrests in the coming days, which would lead us to our Freedom Day in America. So let's pray for indictments and arrests and see what happens next. Well, the arrest warrant was issued for former National Security Advisor John Bolton. It's gone to the public. Bolton faces charges for possessing and sharing classified national security documents. But nothing's happening. The Ninth Circuit Court just ruled 2-1 in favor of the Trump administration, allowing deployment of Oregon National Guard to secure Portland's ICE facility amid violent protests. Overturns the lower court block, and it cites the Insurrection Act. Clashes ongoing with tear gas and riots. News Treason Channel. I'm shocked. Are you shocked? Drop 3966 says, while difficult, it is important to understand this must be done by the book. Average people must be able to digest and accept factually events. A divided federal appeals court for the Ninth Circuit on Monday overturned the temporary restraining order put in place by a federal judge in Portland, removing a legal impediment that was preventing the Trump administration from sending in the National Guard. Quote, after considering the record at this preliminary stage, we conclude that it is likely that the president lawfully exercised his statutory authority. The majority wrote in its decision, and now we're going to see this play out. If you guys didn't know, they're facing all types of battles. If you're looking at your screen, it'll hurt your eyes with all the flashes going off. You can see what they're dealing with there. Yeah. Fog of war right there. Get in the National Guard and then send in the Marines. All together. Have these guys cleaned up, put away, and finally we'll see it play out the way it's supposed to. And so there is a report, according to Nick Sortor, that the Portland police provided cover to the Antifa terrorists at the ICE Portland who were beaming spotlights into DHS agents' eyes and shielded them from the DHS. They're literally aiding the terrorist group, according to Nick Sortor. A DHS agent then came out and confronted Portland police, calling them out for allowing terrorists to hide behind them. Portland police pretended like they saw nothing at all, although they were standing just 15 feet away from the assailants, which DHS had marked with countless pepper balls, lights, and lasers over the course of several minutes. I was 3 times the distance away, and even I saw what was going on, says Nick Sortor. Something must be done with these Portland police now. Get the National Guard in there. Clean them all up. Don't know if you guys realize this, but there's meltdowns happening all over social media. of folks complaining that they're not going to get their EBT food stamps starting November 1st. Video after video of people promising to loot stores in protest. According to many, the Schumer shutdown is going to make many people revolt. And I have read reports, not sure if it's accurate or not, but there are reports coming out that the Democrats will finally cave and the shutdown will stop and they'll turn the government back on. And it'll be interesting how that actually plays out before our very eyes. And so we know that they're filled with all kinds of lies, and the Democrats will come up with some excuse of why they're not going to, why they're finally going to sign it and let it go forward. We know that they belong to the father of lies. Here's another lie from Mayor Karen Bass out of Los Angeles.
In addition to undocumented individuals being detained, we also know that legal residents, people who were attending court hearings, were detained. And we now know that there is evidence of over 170 U.S. citizens who have been detained. And it's important that we say today that what is happening to undocumented immigrants is also happening to U.S. citizens, which means that this can happen to anyone, to all of us at any period of time.
Yeah. Abject lies, says Stephen Miller. Violent leftists have been arrested and charged with illegally obstructing federal law enforcement, a felony. Let that sink in. Open borders. Democrats have incited leftists to violently attack ICE. Open borders. Democrats. Those Democrats have incited leftists to violently attack ICE. Look what happened with the Oregon Congresswoman, Maxine Dexter, Democrat. A meltdown because the court ruled Trump can send the National Guard to Portland.
Dexter, Oregon's third, checking in after what I would say is an indefensible ruling by the Ninth Circuit that opens the door to National Guard troops being deployed in our peaceful city.
Peaceful city. Do you see how much peace there is out there?
Let's just be clear. Portland is not lawless. We have been extraordinary in our resistance to Donald Trump's fairy tale about our city.
Oh, we've been peaceful in our resistance. How do you put those together in one sentence? We're peaceful in our resistance. My goodness, they are. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs is what we call it. And they complain about everything. You know, President Trump, he announced that the ground that has been broken on the White House to build the new big, beautiful White House ballroom. Completely separate from the White House itself. The East Wing is being fully modernized as part of the process. Will be more beautiful than ever. For more than 150 years, every president has dreamt about having a ballroom at the White House. Well, he says he's honored to be the first president to finally get this much-needed project underway with zero cost to the American taxpayer. It's privately funded by many generous patriots, great American companies, and yours truly, President Trump. So Kevin Dalton said, I wonder why everyone on the left, because, the left, they're freaking out. I can't believe he's building the ballroom, blah, blah, blah. They're so upset about President Trump's expansion of the White House that is being 100% funded by donations, but have zero interest in the $1.6 billion expansion of Gavin Newsom's California Capitol that is 100% taxpayer funded and 100% cloaked in non-disclosure agreements and cronyism. It's different. Democrat different. 1.6 billion paid for with taxes. Trump did it for nothing. He got folks to fund it. Whew, what a difference, huh? Addiction recovery takes more than just time. It takes energy, clarity, and hope. And no matter how broken you feel, healing is possible. And there's a way to restore your brain, your body, and your spirit. At New Spring Wellness, your brain restoration program addresses the physiological changes in the brain caused by substance use, aging, and chronic stress.
It literally, those cravings for me, it was a constant every second I was awake. I would wake up in the morning, okay, what do I need to get done today till I can go get my alcohol? And it got to the point where I started drinking earlier and earlier, and to where it just controlled my life.
Their brain restoration protocol reduces cravings, supports mental clarity, and restores energy, giving you the strength to take back control. At New Spring Wellness, they approach recovery with both a medical and faith-based approach. Through Jesus Christ, they find hope, redemption, and the strength to overcome. With brain restoration and faith in Him, you can step into a new beginning. Your past does not define you. Through Christ, all things are made new. Give them a call at 573-577-3400 or go in the description box below to newspringwellnesscenter.com/and we know. Start your journey to sober living today. So now I'm going to show you Aaron Siri about the FDA and these flu shots and more.
Trials are what we rely upon to find whether a product is safe and effective. And once there's a clinical trial, that's what the FDA would rely upon to then license it for that particular use. So to have a vaccine license for pregnant women, you'd need to have a clinical trial with pregnant women. You'd want to know whether it's safe and effective before promoting it to that demographic.
One would think. I mean, I'm sure that's what every pregnant woman's assuming when they see a poster that says the CDC says, get your flu shot to protect your baby. They're assuming that's been well tested.
So so as you said, we FOIA'd the FDA. Simple request: please provide all the clinical trials relied upon to license the flu shot for pregnant women.
Right.
I distinctly remember the phone call with the representative from the FDA. Got on the phone with me and tried to say, we'll just give you all the clinical trials that were used to license the flu shot. And I said, I said, thank you very much, but my client, ICANN, is not requesting all the clinical trials, just those relied upon to license the flu shot for pregnant women.
Right.
That's it. And it was a lot of hemming and hawing. Weeks, months passed, never got anything. So we decided, okay, time to go to court. We went to federal court. We sued them. And they finally admitted, that's right, we don't have any clinical trials. Because you know what? It's never been licensed for pregnant women. That's why, as you just pointed out, Del, when you see a flyer promoting a flu shot for pregnant women, does it say the company's name on it? No. Why? Because that's an off-label use. It's not a licensed use.
Amazing. The Children's Health Defense, the CEO, Mary Holland, said the science is clear.
Other states in the country, in the majority of states, 45 states, we have religious exemptions. And parents can assert religious free exercise rights to say, no, my kid is not going to get a vaccine. Because we do believe that the science shows, the meta-analyses that we have show that unvaccinated children are by far and away healthier than vaccinated children. They don't have the same chronic health conditions.
There you go. Pretty amazing. The information continues to flow to so many that had no clue all these years. Cincinnati's police chief has been placed on leave after she was accused of anti-white bias within the department. Long overdue. Chief Thika, I think is how you say, the name infamously blamed the media for the viral attack on white tourists by blacks in July, adding to the evidence she's making decisions based on race. Per a new lawsuit, the chief used a race-based quota system to decide promotions and hirings. Given the fact she's now on leave, this sounds pretty credible. The DEI police chiefs have to go. Now here's the Cincinnati police chief. Remember what she said when we had all of that violence in the streets and the guy was actually beat up. Instead of holding the thugs accountable for that guy getting beat up all over the streets, she blamed social media.
Another topic I want to cover real quick.
social media and journalism and the role it plays in this incident. And yes, guys, that's you. That is you. Social media, the post that we've seen, does not depict the entire incident. That is one version of what occurred. At times, social media and mainstream media and their commentaries are a misrepresentation of the circumstances surrounding any given event.
Of course, that guy was beat to a pulp, and it doesn't matter how much you blame it on social media, she was wrong. It's great to see her finally being held accountable for her serious mistakes in leaderships. Talking about leadership, let's talk about Secretary Duffy. Check this out.
You're willing to withhold $40 million if California doesn't require truck drivers to be proficient in the English language.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So this has been a long-standing rule in America that if you're going to be a truck driver, you're going to drive an 18-wheeler, you're going to drive a school bus, you have to be proficient in the English language. So you got to be able to speak English and you have to understand road signs. It goes back decades. It's just that the rule was not being enforced. And so we're now enforcing the rule because we've seen a number of crashes where, again, these drivers, they can't read road signs. If there is a crash, they can't communicate with law enforcement. And so every state has complied, all of them except California. Which is baffling to us because, again, they should be just as concerned about safety as the rest of us. Now, the problem is if you get a CDL, a commercial driver's license in California, that license is not just for California. You can drive anywhere in the 50 states. And so these drivers from California who aren't proficient in English drive across the country. Now, other states, if they pull over those drivers, they'll flag them as not being proficient in English and they'll take them out of service. Again, when these big rigs are taken out of service, it costs a lot of money to get a driver back in and start to move the load. So it's a significant penalty. We hope California gets on board. We've taken $40 million away from them. We also have they've also issued a lot of CDL licenses to those who are not here lawfully, or they'll issue a driver's license for 5 years, but the work permit for the migrant is only 1 year. So it extends well beyond the work permit, which encourages those who are here maybe with a work permit to stay beyond their work permit because they have a driver's license. California has to do a lot of work in looking back at their system where they gave illegal driver's licenses and revoke those. Again, this is just about safety, though, Joe. It's not about politics.
Hit them in the pocketbook. Hit California where it counts. Take their money away and say, you know what, you better change this. All the states cooperated except California. Man. Here's some more explanation about the scam that goes on beyond trucking.
You thought it was just truck drivers? The scam runs deeper. Corporate America is full of it. I've been getting DMs left and right from hiring managers, from HR people. Middle Eastern people get into high-ranking HR positions or recruitment positions, and then they only refer when a hiring manager tells them, hey, I need a candidate to meet this position. They get presented only with Middle Eastern resumes. You're absolutely right. And then you wonder why Americans can't get jobs in corporate America, why they get ghosted, why they don't get interviews. There's a scam being run. It goes as far as there's a staffing company. The recruiter works here. The hiring manager says, hey, I need a candidate. She tells the staffing company, okay, we need candidates. The resumes come over from the staffing company. The recruiter puts them in front of the hiring managers. Here, these are all qualified people. And it goes further. There's two different people, is what I'm being told from the hiring managers. The one on paper that's qualified, that meets all the needs of that hiring manager, and then the person that's sitting in front of them or on screen getting interviewed. It's two different people. She says, it's just like the truckers. Somebody takes the license, but the one that doesn't speak English is the one that actually goes to work. They're running a scam through staffing companies and people that are in HR to get their people in front of American resumes and taking the American jobs. And nobody's doing a damn thing about it.
My goodness. You know, when I was catching Ubers, we were traveling down through Florida, and then we had to fly back over across to California. it seemed like every single Uber driver was from another country. And we had several when we went to Miami last year that couldn't even speak English. And I was like, wow, how did you do this? How'd you end up here? I don't know. It was just a strange thing. Maybe on vacation. I don't know. Maybe they came for 3 months on a visitor's visa. And I'm not saying they're all bad. I'm just saying it was weird that they couldn't even speak the language, and yet they were driving Uber and making money. So moving forward on all types of things playing out before our very eyes, I wanted to go over to the UK. They've been on my heart for a while now, especially now that we've had a serious incident play out in Ireland. A young girl was assaulted near the City West Asylum Hotel in Dublin. So folks, be on the lookout and on the news, and try to look online to see what's going to happen, because there's going to be a huge uprising, I believe, because of this. They were already marching down the streets, the people, because they're upset. Just 3 days, the locals posted footage of migrants. 3 days ago, migrants were drinking outside a primary school, small kids' school. And now that child, that 10-year-old, the Irish girl, she was, and if kids are listening, RAPE, okay? Sources say the girl, who's been in care, was not housed at the hotel, and investigators are working to establish how she ended up at the hotel. The suspect arrived in Ireland 6 years ago and failed in his application for international protection in 2024. He's been the subject of deportation orders since March of this year.
Shannon.
You local woman here?
I've been living in British for the last 8 years, and it's been taken away to be built as an iPass centre. There's already been 28 houses built, and they're looking to come to our house next to knock it down.
And it has Crooksling there as well.
We're close enough to Crooksling right there, yeah. So we're going to
lose a nursing home.
So, sorry?
Was a nursing home.
It was, and we're going to lose our homes, and I'm there 8 years. There's people there more than 8 years. It's an absolute disgrace. We haven't been given a letter, told anything. They just keeping quiet. But it's been confirmed as an iPass centre up in Britain.
How do you feel about the news today about this young girl being raped?
Unbelievable. It's absolutely disgusting, and it shouldn't have happened. They shouldn't be here. They need to be deported, the lot of them.
Any kids yourself?
I have no kids, but if I have animals, and if anyone touched my animal, my God, there'd be war.
It's just inevitable now. Every week, every other day.
It can't even go into the city centre these days. Like, I don't feel safe in my own country. It's not fair. I should be able to go out and go into the city centre and have a night out. I'm clutching my bag. I'm scared, and it's just not safe anymore. I don't want to be here with all this going on. It's disgusting right on our doorstep.
Hopefully now, tomorrow night, 7:30, will be a bigger crowd.
We'll be back.
So there's going to be a huge crowd from what we're hearing. They're already starting to march. You can see her marching there. They've had enough there. And tell you, I saw this Kurt Kaz guy walking the streets of London. Check out what he says.
So here in London, the native British population is a staggering 38%. And the rest, as well, from everywhere else. Arabic restaurants, kebabs. So apparently this is a place where a lot of acid attacks occur. So for all my US viewers, acid attacks are very common here in the UK. What they do is they get a bottle or container of sulfuric acid and throw it in the faces of either their enemies or anybody that they don't like. So it scars you and permanently ruins your face. Terrible stuff, very evil inventions that they have come up with to cause harm onto people that they don't like. Here in the UK, they love their CCTV cameras. And London is the most surveilled city in all of Europe. So everywhere you go, Big Brother is watching. So they hate the cameras, but they're being filmed 24/7. So watch what you do in the UK, because Big Brother is watching.
Big Brother's watching, and they know what's playing out before their very eyes. But when questioned to Sadiq Khan about grooming gangs, listen to what he tries to do to dodge the questions.
I asked you this question last week and you found every which way but not to answer it. Just how many grooming gangs have we got in London?
Avoiding a misunderstanding, can she define what she means by that?
Yes, if you look at what's gone on in Rotherham, where there are people taking young girls, grooming them for sex, that is what I'm talking about.
We know in London there are issues about exploitation of young people, but they're not as defined by the member in her definition of what those types of gangs are.
So are you saying we haven't got the same sort of gangs that are in Rotherham, Bradford, and lots of other places in the country?
Just for what's a misunderstanding, what does she mean by that?
You know full well what I mean by that. It's all over the television. You know exactly what I mean by that. These gangs of people that are grooming young girls for sex. Do we actually have those in London?
Today, I'm unclear, Chair, what is meant by the question. If she could spell it out, I can answer.
I've just spelt it out. Are you not listening? It's the sort of gangs that groom young girls at a young age for sex. Exactly how much clearer do you want me to be?
He doesn't want to give an answer, and he's trying to get her to say a certain color of person or a certain religion or whatever it is that he's trying to get out of her so that he can then claim, right, that she's Islamophobic, because that's what they do. He's trying to bait her. He knew exactly he knows what's going on. There's a video that actually emerged from 2020, 5 years ago. Sadiq Khan refusing to deal with these grooming gangs. He's known about it for years.
These have obviously been found in many, many other cities and towns around the country, but there hasn't been much of many prosecutions happened in London. But, obviously, as the police commissioner for Northumberland said, this is happening anywhere, and the only reason why it's not being found is that people aren't looking. Are you looking in London for grooming gangs in London in order to prosecute people? Because if it's going on in cities like Oxford and Bristol and Peterborough and Aylesbury, smaller places, it's surely going on in London as well on a large scale.
Can I just be clear, Chair? Is the inference that because of my faith or my ethnic origin, I'm not seeking to follow these crimes?
No.
See that? He asked, is it my faith or origin? The reason that you're asking me about this. See?
I'm asking you because you're the Police and Crime Commissioner.
Assemblymember Curtin, I think you're pretty much drifting now onto drifting off the subject itself. So can I just ask you to stick to the topic and ask a relevant question, please?
Well, Chair, I mean, I was originally asking about Black Lives Matter, and then the mayor started talking about slavery, and the questioning has developed.
Yeah, but you're still going off the tangent now, so can you please be cautious about that and not ask...
Okay, well, Chair, if you want to disallow my question, that's your prerogative.
Well, I will use that then. Thank you very much. I'm going to move on now to the questions to the mayor on the priority order.
See? So better be careful with your question. They don't want to give an answer. And, the Daily Express actually put out the mayor accused over grooming gangs cover-up in the Capitol. Those things I bring up to you showing even more so the problems that they're having there. Muhammad Omar Alam, 32, from Pakistan, currently residing in Walsall, Birmingham, tried to rape a 13-year-old girl. He told her that British girls should be in their knees for Pakistani men. They brag about it. And then you head on over to the Netherlands. And if you're watching your screen, you got folks throwing furniture at each other in a hotel. They destroyed the entire hotel. They had been living there for free because they have a different tribal Muslim clan that was placed there. Free hotel, And they're like, we don't like those guys over there. So they destroy the entire hotel because they don't like each other. And we wonder if anything like that could ever happen in the United States.
Islamist movement to say, and Islamism is the political movement to make the world Muslim by force. It's not all Muslims. Most Muslims want nothing to do with it. They want to accommodate to the rest of the world.
We have to say that every time we do
every
this.
time.
Yeah.
But there is a very, very powerful movement that believes in violence to these ends.
So this is Morgan Marietta, former dean at the University of Austin, Texas. He's going to explain the American universities are pushing this pro-Islam movement.
And those ends are horrifying to Americans. Those ends are women don't go to school and they're subjected to their husbands, and that they throw gay people off buildings. And the idea that we have taught undergrads in America that it makes any sense to say gays for Hamas or gays for Palestine is force-feeding poison.
Yeah, I
to
just
these
told
people.
Jake in the last interview that's an IQ test to see who.
But you see the dishonesty.
Yeah.
Anyone who can,
Yeah.
any professor who can walk past that and not try to correct it is a dishonest person. It's open dishonesty to let people think that that makes sense. To not inform them that the people that they are lauding would kill them. This is suicidal.
Very interesting. And just the other day, I saw this clip of a Muslim mosque leader furious and calling the police, threatening people for just speaking to a Christian. Very interesting.
Please, I'm asking a question to you. No.
He's getting.
You have to listen to me. Just had one more question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Question. One question. No. Please go outside. Sean, please come.
Don't listen to him. He's trying to manipulate you.
I'm not fighting or
Neither one of us are fighting. You're being more confrontational than we are. You're trying to confront this man and force him to go inside, officer.
So the police officer's trying to force the man to go inside the mosque instead of allowing him to talk to the Christian. The police officer.
Violating our free speech.
That you are trespassing from the property of the church.
You see this? This man right here is threatening to trespass this Muslim right here because he's talking to a Christian on a sidewalk. You see that?
On the property, you're going to go to jail for trespassing.
And so Texas is the #1 state for fastest growing amount of new Muslim mosques. The Texas state government has allocated approximately $13 million in taxpayer funds to 18 Islamic organizations in 2025. Texas is now ranked 3rd for most Muslim mosques in the nation. Texas is expected to overtake California for the #1 ranking for most mosques nationwide, numbers by 2025 to 2030, potentially as early as 2025 this year if the new rate of the new mosques are built, if it all continues. Imagine hearing this in Texas. Alabama, here we go.
Alabama U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville has introduced 2 bills to ban Sharia law in the U.S. Sharia law is the religious law for the Muslim faith outlined in the Quran. The so-called No Sharia Act would prohibit the use of the law in the U.S. where it would violate constitutional rights. Also, the proposed Preserving a Sharia-Free America Act would prevent all foreign nationals advocating for the law from entering the U.S. Tuberville says the goal is to prevent Islamic extremism in the U.S.
Senator Tuberville, legislation introduces it to ban Sharia law in the United States. Why in the world do we have to do that? If not, the Sharia law will then supersede the law of our land. And if they keep getting their way in their own sections of town and sections of cities, and before you know it, they take over entire cities. They can say, well, we have our own laws here. We don't have to abide to the American way. And it can get ugly. So we have to keep our eyes peeled and ensure that we understand what's playing out. And I told you guys the other day, and I played that clip of when you try to proselytize or you try to help these folks by sharing the gospel with them. You remember the other day where the police actually came out and put a stop to it in one area of Michigan. And now you can see here, they're actually showing up and saying, hey, you need to get inside. You're causing trouble by standing out here. The guy just wants to ask questions from a Christian. And he's getting threatened by the police in a way, in a sense, and he's getting threatened by the mosque leader. You better get in here. We don't want you talking to that Christian. Police officer's like, you better go in. You shouldn't be talking to that Christian. On another flip side, gold up to $4,382.91. Just went up another like $175, $169. Yeah, plus. It just keeps going up. And I mean, the supply chain is breaking. We talked about that. Silver hitting $54. We saw that and so much more. And I've, told you about our interview that we had placed last Saturday, just a few days ago, Dr. Kirk Elliott, with these big moves happening and how it's not too late to get on board because he feels that's going to triple with the amount of demand that's playing out around this earth.
What does London need to do to fix itself? Well, we were looking at this article. That one.
This one here?
So, yes. So if they took 80%, over 80% of COMEX's total supply, they could actually fix London.
So London's in trouble. They don't have that supply to meet the demand, and they've done some other things. You got to hear about it. It is incredible what he shares. Folks, you have an opportunity to make a big change in your life. amweknow.com/gold in the description box below.
Mom of 2 in Fairfax County. This is my oldest. And my husband and I have a difficult decision to make this fall as he is approaching preschool age, and we are faced with the decision of whether or not we are going to put our child in public school system where Fairfax County has decided to move forward with instituting gender studies in elementary school. Despite having done a study group, a focus group in the community to see if parents even wanted this. And when parents said no, the board voted 16-0 and said we're moving forward anyways. This shows clearly that they see parents not as partners, but as an obstacle for their agenda. And I have a really hard time looking at him and going, here, I'm just going to give you over to people who do not want to partner with me in how you're going to be raised. School and education is a huge part of a child's life. And early childhood is supposed to be filled with exploration and creativity and fun, not debating issues that are for adults to handle. These kinds of topics should be introduced sensitively and by parents who are raising their children with their values, not with an ideology passed down from the top. And so this isn't about discrimination. This is about age appropriateness. This is about parents being parents and the school being the support system to parents that it was created to be. I'm urging legislators to oppose the bill like the Hashmi bill and amendments that could further erode parental involvement and religious freedoms. Parents should be the primary educators in their children's lives and the protectors of their children's values. And so this is why we're here, to protect diverse family values and make sure that our children stay safe. And to the Fairfax County School Board, we really need you to listen. You have been elected. You have been put there to represent our voice. When you chose to make the decision to be on the school board, did you have us in mind or an agenda? And you really need to think about who are you there to represent, because the parents don't want this.
That video released by the Family Foundation, taking care of our children. I tell you what, the children are getting stronger more and more, standing up for their rights. Listen to this amazing interview Man, just touch your heart.
You here today?
I'm here to protect the kids and how I have the streets safer for when I have kids. Because I'm scared. Because I'm scared if anything's going to happen to me. Because being a white girl is really scary at this time. Loads of people call me racist for going to these, but I just want to be able to feel safe in my own community, and I just want to be able to walk the streets like my dad and my mum used to without a worry.
Not going to school at the moment. What's happening there?
People are calling me racist at school for going to the marches, and they're calling me far right. But the thing is, I'm not far right. I respect everyone's cultures, their religion, where they come from, and their background. I just want to be able to feel safe.
She just wants to feel safe, and she speaks up. It's so clear. So amazing to have the guts to stand up and say, you know what? I'm not racist. I'm just standing up because I'm scared. Can't walk to school alone. We can't do anything without looking over our shoulders. I mean, it's terrible to live now in this area, wondering what's going to happen to me or to my friends. It breaks your heart that we can't just have normal humanity come together and realize what's being played out right in front of their eyes, and they can't just put a stop to it. So we have to stay in prayer, and I tell you, amazing for today's Delta on the board, one that we share often. Sometimes you can't tell the public the truth. You must show them. Only then will people find the will to change. Crimes against children unite all humanity across party lines. Difficult truths. Q.
For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, again we come before your throne, filled with awe of you and what you've done to put the right people in place to put a stop to this evil that's playing out before our very eyes, hurting our very children, putting them in danger and making them grow up faster than they could ever imagine, than we could ever imagine. And so we come before your throne again, asking for guidance and support, asking for direction, for the ability to make the right decisions at the right time as we move about our day, in our own world and the things that we encounter, the people that we talk to and more. Would you allow us to love on others unconditionally? Use our voice to speak of your word, especially in this strange time that we live in. We ask for continued support and protection over those on the front lines, those that are going to be sent into these terrible cities filled with demonic-filled people. We ask that you would protect them, Heavenly Father, and those parents that are praying for them, grandparents that are hurting for them, knowing they're going into harm's way. We ask that legions of angels will be sent in, your angels, to protect them, watch over them in everything that they do. We bring this again before your throne in the name of Jesus Christ, our Savior. Amen. Folks, thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your support. This is LT Semper Fi with Them We Know, signing out.
It's not fair. I should be able to go out and go into the city centre and have a night out. I'm clutching my bag, I'm scared, and it's just not safe anymore.
You here today?
I'm here to protect the kids and how I have the streets safer for when I have kids. Because I'm scared. Because I'm scared if anything's going to happen to me. Because being a white girl is really scary at this time.
It's easier for the politicians in D.C. to go away from each other and say, we will win this way, while people are losing their paychecks. If Congress just said, we're not going to take our paychecks till we figure this out, that would be a noble step in the right direction, I would say.
That's not everybody can afford to do. You got some young people there with kids there.
Either can the people that aren't getting paid, though,
I think
and
that's
there's
a fair
holdout.
point. I think that's a fair point.